to Power Conversations podcast by What's Your Superpower TV. This podcast features conversations of overcoming by faith and pushing through to fulfill a purpose driven life. This podcast is hosted by CEO and best-selling author Nadia Francois. Welcome to the broadcast. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday and welcome to Power Conversations Live. This is our Black History Month book tour, and this is day number 3. We have had some amazing authors come along to tell us about their publications. Also been enjoying some little known Black history facts in between our authors. So the same will be going on today. Before I start, I am going to ask that you please share this out, share it out, invite some other interested parties to the broadcast, share it out, and subscribe to our website and our social media platform so that you can be in the know when we are live or whenever we have any type of broadcast or events going on. So make sure that you um, are sharing out and are following us on all of our social media platforms. And that is WISPTV. Yes, What's Your Superpower TV. So, first up, we have the amazing Shayna Gordine, one of my amazing colleagues. Hey, Queen.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you today?
I am awesome.
Great. I'm so happy that you are here to share your publication with us today. Please go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Yes, I am Sheena Goodine. I'm originally from Cross, South Carolina. I reside in Troy, New York. I am an author. I am a owner of Sheena Master Motivation, and I am also an advocate for domestic violence.
Awesome. So, Queen, you have several books already published. And today, tell us the title of which book you will be presenting on today.
We're going to talk about unveil the pieces of a broken mask today, amongst the rest that kind of coincides with it.
Absolutely. So, go ahead and tell us about it.
Unveiling the Broken Pieces of the Mask is actually the second edition of the first book, which the first book was called The Mask Behind the Mask, which is a book of poetry to inspire people the best version of themselves. With Unveil the Broken Pieces of the Mask, it's a poetry book, but it inspires people to take off the different pieces of their mask and get comfortable in their own skin. It allows them to work on their inner self on during their own time. I give you poetry, but I also give you questions to go through your own masses and see how comfortable in your own skin you really are. It also gives you a space to journal, and I give you affirmations to inspire you to be great after you take off the pieces.
Yes. So, you're saying this is the second to another book. Tell us how you began writing these two books, or the series.
Well, the series started as far as, me actually going through domestic violence. And that was a mask I carried for a while. And in the midst of going through the process, I decided to write poetry to inspire me through my trauma. So
Mhm.
as I was healing, I'm like, why not take the precious words that I put in a book to inspire myself, to be able to inspire other people through whatever they may be going through, not just trauma. Life itself gives you a lot of different cards to be dealt. So why
Yeah.
not inspire them through words of my power to then give them the power to be a better version of themselves? So 2019, I decided to let's put this book together and let's show the world that the word means power. And just because you went through a situation, it doesn't have to stop you and stagnate you to be in that position. It's a way of teaching people how to heal themselves through their walk of journey after going through the different masses that they may carry through life. The other reason I wrote this book is because I suffer from chronic illness. So another way of me being above my diagnosis is to inspire people, regardless of the cards they dealt, that you still can maintain and fulfill your dreams of of being successful and inspiring people through your scars and through the different situations you have overcome through your testimony.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, with these two books, tell me how you have been, putting it out there, getting it to different women in order to get your mission across of making sure that they have these words to inspire them and push them through. How do you get them to the women?
Well, besides me, publishing it, I also go to the shelter and I inspire other women to read the book and then, take the walk through the different journeys to allow them to be in a different position. I also, through the workshops, inspiring them to be confident and inspiring them to take the next steps on where they should go after going through life, trauma, and different things. I also, I go to vending events and I also do public speaking. I call it the self elevation coach, and I basically go and I empower them to elevate themselves with their life struggles, with their purpose, and to understand that everything that happens to you is not just a disaster. It's actually something to take and then be able to show people that you went through something, but you can also make it a better version of what it was instead of just sitting in the mess that it could be.
Yeah. Okay. And before these two books, had you written anything before that, or was this your first publications?
No, these two were my first publications. And then, in the midst of me doing these publications, I collabed in several other projects, including your project as well, calling A Letter to My Daughter. So I've been in about 38 other projects plus my
Wow.
two. And then I'm actually about to do the last series of the mask right now. It's actually typed up right now. So
Okay.
in the midst of releasing that as well to the end of the series.
So when you put your books out, what is the response that you get from the women? Like, you know, I know that when we write, it's therapeutic for us. When we journal, it's therapeutic for us. But what is the response that you get from someone else reading your story or, taking your poetry and putting it into perspective?
Oh my God, I have so many emails or inboxes on how I'm so inspired by the fact of me even just talking about my domestic violence story and being transparent and then putting it in a book to inspire them. They're like, just wow. Like, I've had people from even just the shelter tell me how I've gotten them to go back to living a regular life and giving them the confidence to be able to step into life after dealing with the things that they've dealt with. I've had people tell me, "Hey, I've been watching you for a while. I might not say nothing because I've actually done a podcast, which is called The Power in Your Voice." And I take that time to be able to inspire people that, we all words have power and we have a voice and we have a story and a testimony. So being able to use those platforms and they tell me how I inspire them and how I give them the will to put themselves back together after being broken.
Good, good. And so, with your book, Unveiled, it's Unveiled the Broken Pieces of a Mask.
Is
What is it?
is
I
is
get confused.
is unveil pieces of a broken mass.
Okay, so Unveil Pieces of a Broken Mask. What is the next book title?
That one is called The Evolution of the Mass.
Ooh, wow. And so these books are all just pretty much poetry, your story, and then poetic pieces to encourage, inspire, along with some journaling pages, right?
Yes, absolutely. The method of it is the first book was poetry that got me through trauma. The second book was my in the midst of my healing, so I'm helping people to heal. And this one is teaching them how to show up for them because I showed up for them. It's like, listen, I am me and this is who I am, and I can stand here bold and confident and be okay with who I am regardless on what I've been through.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that. And so going through your own trauma, going through your own health issues, you wrote these books. Now, tell me, where do these books fit in with your business?
They actually are what created the business, to be honest. It's actually called Sheena Unmasking Motivation,
Mm,
where I basically teach people how to unmask themselves and show up bold and fierce and confident. Give them the inspiration, the motivation, and the empowerment to be the best version of themselves. Because a lot of times, after going through trauma or illness or depression or anxiety or all these things that come with life, we tend to forget where can we start next, and I give them the different levels of learning how to trust themselves again, learning how to show up for themselves, learning that you are worthy of happiness and you don't have to desire or lean on anybody else to give it to you. It's within you. So my books, along with my workshops, along with the business, all align together to teach people how to show up and be impactful for themselves. Because if you can't show up for you can't show up for nobody else. So with
right.
the mission, the book is to give people poetry through words, but it gives you the power. Like my poetry is to inspire you to be powerful, to be bold, to embrace who you are, to love you the skin you're in, and to understand that we've all have something we've been through, but it doesn't mean that you have to self-sabotage yourself. It teaches you how to love again, how to heal, how to find peace, how to find purpose. And with mine, I just do it through poetry, and just to give people the words of inspiration through poetry. And then also along with it, I created spoken word. So it's just, I take my poetry and then turn it into music. So I don't just allow you to read it, I allow you to hear it.
Wow. So, with that being said, let us hear some of that beautiful poetry that you have in either of your books. Either is fine.
Absolutely. We gonna go with "I Stand," that is in "Unveil the Pieces of a Broken Mask," and it says, "Today I stand in the presence as a woman that was broken, hurt, unhappy with myself. Today I stand in the presence of shedding my mask that I used to hold on to because I was afraid of judgment. Today I stand in the presence of a woman who went through the storm and the rain. Now I have to let you know the scars of my story. Now I stand here as a woman in front of you. I'm a woman of power. I'm a woman of strength. I'm a woman of happiness. I'm a woman of peace. The strength and the power that I have regained, I will never let anyone ever take away again. The person I have became is a hero. I'm a hero to the world to know today. The person I have become will be the woman my children will see as strong and phenomenal. They will continue to know that their mother stood in the midst of the storm. And I will cherish the beauty soul that I have rebuilt to be the queen and uphold my throne."
Love it. Love it. So, do you have like any type of prompt or anything after that one? Just asking.
You mean other poems? Oh,
No,
you mean
like,
after?
oh,
No,
yeah.
not that one.
Okay.
No.
Okay. That's okay.
But,
I don't want you to go
you
too
know,
deep because we want them
uh,
to support and purchase the book. But I just wanted to make sure you didn't have anything after that where we could have got
not
like,
after that one, but I do have the one where right after, when I talk about insecurities,
hmm
I ask the question, how do you feel about your insecurities after you felt less of self-worth? And then I was like, do you have insecurities now? And if so, what are they? And then I
hmm
ask you, what are you going to do to make your securities be a part of your past?
yeah. Yeah, you know what I was itching for. Just a little
Mm-hmm.
snippet.
I
Just a
got
little
you. I got
snippet.
you. Absolutely.
Well, Queen, I thank you so much for joining us today and giving us all the information on your books. Now, I want you to go ahead and let us know about your business. Tell us how we can reach you, how we can connect, and finally, how we can purchase that book. Well, those
Absolutely.
all of the books.
All the books.
Yes.
But I am Sheena. I am the owner of Sheena Master Motivation, where we teach you how to elevate, how to show up with purpose, and how to show up for yourself. We are here to be bold and fierce, and we are here to inspire you to be great and the best version of yourself. You can always contact me on my website at www.sheenamastermotivation.com. You can always connect with me on my email as Sheena Unmasking Motivation at gmail.com, or Escadine, which is Gourdine 16 at gmail.com. You can find me on both Facebook and Instagram as the lady behind the mask. And you can also follow my YouTube as Lady Behind the Mask as well. And all my books are on Amazon and on my website. But of course, I also sell them as well. So you can personally get a signature by me if you order them from me as well.
And so you said your website is Shayna
Then
Unmasking Motivation.
motivation.com.
All right, I want to put it up here for you.
Yep,
There
that's
you
her.
go.
That's
All
she.
right. Amazing. And now, do you have any parting words for our audience?
Always. My thing to you is to always stand true to who you are. Never be ashamed of what you've been through. And always remember that there's somebody else that is attached to your story. So don't be scared to you don't be scared to say it. Say it. See, words is all mumble jumble.
That's all
But
right.
don't be scared to say it, and always remember there's someone that's there waiting in this winds to listen to what you have to say. Let your voice be heard, and it's always a power in your voice.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Queen, so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Have a great evening. All right, y'all. That was so good, good, good. We have another author coming up shortly. While we are waiting on her, I want to share some of our Black History facts. And so we're going to talk about the origins of Black History Month. And so the celebration of Black History Month began as Negro History Week, okay, which was created in 1926 by Carter G. Woodson, a noted African American historian, scholar, educator, and publisher. It became a month long celebration in 1976, guys, which really wasn't that long ago. The month of February was chosen to coincide with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln. All right, so that is the origin of Black History Month. Um, I'll give a few of our famous people. So, the first African American lawyer was John Mercer Langston. He was the first Black man to become a lawyer when he passed the bar in Ohio in 1854. He was also elected to the post of town clerk for Brownhelm, Ohio in 1855, and he became one of the first African Americans ever elected to public office in America. John Mercer Langston was also the great uncle of Langston Hughes, the famed poet of the Harlem Renaissance. So that is a little bit of Black history. Um, we have a famous protesters and activists. Rosa Parks is credited with helping to spark the civil rights movement when she refused to give up her public bus seat to a white man in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, inspiring the Montgomery bus boycott. The lesser known Claudette Colvin was arrested 9 months prior for not giving up her bus seat to white passengers. Thurgood Thurgood Marshall was the first African American ever appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court. He was appointed by President Lyndon B. Johnson and served on the court from 1967 to 1991. So Thurgood Marshall was the first African American Supreme Court justice. We had an amazing scientist, George Washington Carver. who developed 300 derivative products from peanuts, among them cheese, milk, coffee, flour, ink, dyes, plastics, wood stains, soaps, linoleum, medicinal oils, and cosmetics. And that is George Washington Carver. And then our first representative, our first woman in the House of Representatives was Shirley Chisholm, which was the to first African American woman elected to the House of Representatives. She was elected in 1968 and represented the state of New York. She broke ground again 4 years later in 1972 when she was the first major party African American candidate and the first female candidate for the president of the United States. Now, did y'all know that? I didn't. So, that is some good information right there. I did not know that we actually had a woman to be elected. Well, not elected, but be a candidate. Sorry, don't not elected, a candidate for presidency. And so, let me see if I have a couple more. Oh, I cannot not go farther without mentioning this beauty, self-made millionaire, Madam C.J. Walker, was born on a cotton plantation in Louisiana and became wealthy after inventing a line of African American hair care products. She established Madam C.J. Walker Laboratories and was also known for her philanthropy. So, by me being a cosmetologist and a barber, I had to throw her in there. She is a staple for our industry and for Black history. So, Madam C.J. Walker, y'all. All right. And the first Black billionaire, of course, a woman. Well, no, it was a guy. The first Black billionaire, Robert Johnson. He was the first African American billionaire when he sold the cable station he founded, Black Entertainment Television, in 2001. And he was the first Black president, Black vice president, and oh no, that's next. Okay, so he was the first Black billionaire in 2001. Robert Johnson, the former owner of BET. And so then, of course, we will have our first Black president in 2008, the amazing Barack Obama. All right. And then in 2021, we had our first Black vice president that was also a African American slash Asian American woman. All right. So those are some good Black history facts that you may not have known. Some little known Black history facts. All right. So with that being said, we have our next author here. We're going to bring her up. Hello, hello. How are you? It's unmuted.
Hello.
Hi, Queen. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome, welcome, Coach Ashley Blanshaw to Power Conversations Black History Month book tour. Go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Coach Ashley Blanshaw. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, but I reside here now in Westchester County and Elmsford, New York. I am known as the person with many hats. So I'm a singer, songwriter, solo music artist, motivational speaker, activist, and advocate for mental health awareness. I am also a certified business coach, a businesswoman. I'm a best-selling author 9 times, but going on 23 books. All right, I am also a businesswoman, and I'm also a talk show host and a radio show host. So that's what basically what I do and who I am.
Awesome. So today you brought a book for us to talk about. What book is it?
All right, so I have, right here. So the recent book I put is called The Chain Breaking Experience. All right, this volume one. This is on volume two. This is volume two, and this is my first devotional book. All right, and stuff. And then my second devotional book is out now called The Chain Breaking Experience Celebrating Love. All right, so that's out now on Amazon. You can get it. All right. The paperback version will be available pretty soon. And so, what the Chain Breaking Experience, this is my first anthology as a visionary. All right. So, what this book is talk about is celebrating chains being broken, right? Because we into a season where God is breaking chains that has been holding us bondage, that was trapped, and that has been holding us captive. And as we listen to this amazing song by the amazing Tasha Cobbs Leonard, it says that there's power in the name of Jesus to break every chain. And how many of y'all believe that and receive that on tonight? That there is power in the name of Jesus to break every chain. Every chain that has been holding you bondage. It could be any chain you've been dealing with. It might be chain of a battle. It might be chain of addiction. It might be chain of financial circumstances. It might be chains of issues. It might be chains of bad marriages, bad relationships, broken promises. It could be any chain you've been dealing with. God is going to break them because God is doing great things for the body of Christ. And so what these are now, God is taking the theology by storm now, where devotional books are also being birthed out. And so what these authors are doing is that they're sharing their story, they're sharing their testimony, whether it's through a poem, all right, whether it's through writing the chapter, all right, to share their story and their testimony about the change that did with how God broke those chains off of them, all right, and also there's something, something encouragement or encouraging the people, all right, that everything is going to be all right and the chains are being broken and so and stuff like that.
Love it. So how many authors do you have in the book?
All right, so the first book there are four authors joining, all right, this book. All right, and then the second devotional book, there are, I think, there are 9 authors joining in this book, and with this devotional book, all right, there are 8 authors, joining. And then the Chain Breaking Experience Celebrating Love, I think is now 4 authors joining that devotional book, stuff like that. So yes, and plus there's a couple of more projects, that I'm doing, with this anthology coming up pretty soon. So I'm totally excited. So like this authors are coming, signing up and joining to be a part.
Okay. Now, what made you decide to start doing well, first, what made you decide to become an author? I can't hear you for some reason. Miss Ashley, you turned to the side for some reason and I can't hear you no more. Do you know what happened? Did you press something? Do you want to come out and come back in real quick? Yes, yes, yes. So we having a little technical difficulty, but we will be right back in a minute with Coach Ashley Blanshaw. In the meantime, please make sure that you have subscribed to Power Conversations magazine and podcast uh, on our social media, and also subscribe to What's Your Superpower TV and Anthology, also on social media and via our website, wisptv.com. Hey, Queen.
Hello.
Yes, we got you back. Yes.
Hi.
So, back to what I was asking you. How did you become, or what made you decide to start writing or become an author?
Well, back in 2019 in December, all right, me as a songwriter and me writing songs, how increased, of me now, writing books. And so back in 2019, December, I decided, to write books. So my songwriting had absolutely developed me into writing books and stuff. Plus I always wanted to do my own anthology books, painting books and other collabs, all right, and then also do self-publishing, books too as well. Always wanted to do an anthology my own and get authors to come and and to sign up and to join to be an anthology, that I always wanted to do an anthology on my own. And so that's how the chain breaking experience came about, and that's how my start of writing books, because of my songwriting and stuff like that.
Love it, love it. And so, outside of your songwriting, and your singing, do you have another business?
Yes, it's called the I Am Determined Tour. I travel around because I'm really big when it comes down to my activism for mental health awareness. All right, so I travel, around the community. All right, to continue to create awareness for mental health, and so that's what my business does. And so I travel around the communities, whether it's hosting events, participating in events, all right, or whether it's virtual or in person or speaking or singing, just continue to spread the importance about mental health awareness in the community, because this is something that I was struggling with myself. It's nearly 3 years now since I overcame this battle. And so I decided to use my story and my testimony, all right, to put it into action, all right, to encourage everybody that no matter what battle or mental health illness that you're going through, God is going to make a way. God is going to heal you. He's going to deliver. He's going to strengthen you. All right, you're going to overcome and you will continue to be successful no matter what. Focus on the greater calling that God has placed over your life, because God has called you to do the work that He has for you.
Yes. And so, I know I asked you what made you decide to be an author, but what brought you into songwriting? Uh-oh. Let me freeze up. All right. So I think Coach Ashley, her signal may be a little low. So, with that being said, we will take a short break and be right back. right, we got you back, Queen. You here? Can you go ahead and unmute for me? All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. So the last question was, how did you get into songwriting? Uh-oh. I think she's having a connection issue. Just try and give her a few seconds to get it back up. All right. Can we hear you now, Queen? Can you hear me now?
Oh, hello, hello. And so music has been my passion ever since I was a little girl growing up. All right, at the age of 4 or 5 years old, that's when I started to sing. All right, and stuff like that. And then singing in the church, grew up in the church, singing in the choir, led me to sing in the choir in high school, college. All right, but my solo music career, got started, during my I think my school years, I think my middle school years. All right, because I also was singing solos too at church, all right, and stuff like that. But all right, but when I really got started was during my middle school years. So I started to participate in the talent shows, musicals in school. When I college, my songwriting really got started during my freshman year, all right, of high school, all right, and it really got serious, during my between my junior year of high school and my college years. All right, that's what took my songwriting, very very seriously because all right, I was one of the singers to participate in John Lennon educational bus tour, and I know, and I got to experience, how it feels to be in the studio, and then, making music in the studio and writing songs and stuff like that, and making a music video. So that's where I really, really found my passion. All right, and all right, and so I did 4 years at Westchester Community College, all right, in performing arts here in Valhalla, New York, here in Westchester County. All right, and I took some classes in recording engineering. All right, and just checking out the apps, to how to make music from Logic, from GarageBand, all right, and stuff like that. And then so during but the time I graduated from college. All right, I was in the process of making my first album called Vibes, expressing the feelings through music. And so all the tracks that I made, all right, during the classes, I put it into one album. All right, and then 2020, my second album came out. Hashtag Ashley, hashtag Unfiltered, and then part two, all right, came out in 2021. And I took a break from it, all right, from music for a while, all right, and stuff like that, and making more music. And then February, which is this year, will be 1 year to put out my fourth solo music album called Girl to Woman. All right, and it was my comeback album into making music because I was going back and forth, between my alter ego, which I created, and coming from develop as who I am as a woman, who Ashley is a woman, and to show the world who Ashley is, and being the best Ashley and stuff like that. And then December, all right, I put out my fifth solo music album, New Beginnings, and my fought between my albums has been nominated for local awards, all right, and stuff like that. And so God is good, so people.
All right. So we have, look like you made it back without having to go out. You back?
Yes.
Okay, good. Look, I'm like, are you still froze or not? It froze up for a second. All right. So before anything else happens with the video, can you give me your website so I can pop it up? Uh-oh, I spoke too soon, y'all. All right, so Coach Ashley has froze up on us. Before I can get her website, so I will bring that up as soon as I'm able to get it from her. Y'all, this queen has several books out. She's also a coach, she's a singer. She definitely has a lot going on, a lot to contribute to the literary world as well as the music space. Um, so if I can get her back on, I'll let her continue, but otherwise I will add her website up. Of course, her books, The Chain Breaking Experience, are available on Amazon. Let's see. Queen, are you there?
Hello.
All right,
Hi.
good. So give me your website so I can run it up.
Linktree.com/Ashley Blanchard.
All right. And go ahead and tell us more about your coaching business and how you are helping others. And then we'll let you give us also more uh, information on how to contact you.
So I became a business coach, certified as a business coach back in December, all right, 2021. and what I do, as I mentioned about what my business does, and so I basically, connect with other people, collaborate with other people, and also, basically when I mentioned earlier about what my business do, all right, is I travel around the communities, whether it's participating in host events or to continue to spread the importance about mental health awareness, all right, in the communities, all right, and stuff like that. And so me becoming as a business coach, all right, I can like, collaborate with other activists, collaborate with other advocates, get together, host events, participate, all right, and also come together to continue to create awareness, all right, for in the for mental health awareness in other community. And so me becoming as a business coach, that really helped me to increase, and step up, my business more, all right, and stuff like that and everything. And so basically that's what I do as a business coach, and that's what I do as a businesswoman.
Awesome, awesome. And like I said, tell us how we can connect with you. Give us your social media. And then if you have any final thoughts for our audience.
So they can follow me on my personal page on Facebook at Ashley Blanchard, my business page at Coach Ashley Katisha Blanchard. All right, same thing with Instagram. Instagram, my personal Coach Ashley Blanchard, my personal. My business on Instagram at I am Ashley Blanchard, my Twitter page at I am Miss Ashley. They can get my music on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all right, SoundCloud, and also they can get my books on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Apple iBooks, and I just want to encourage you on tonight. Just keep on focusing on the greater calling that God has placed over your life. Keep on focusing on the greater work that He has for you to do. Keep on focusing on, all right, getting your books out there. All right, share your story. Continue to share your story and your testimony. All right, through your books. All right, also, do anthologies. Create an anthology. Of your own. Connect with other artists, collaborate with other artists, all right, get to know them, support, all right, support each other, and just focus on making your book successful.
Yes. All right, Queen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, guys, make sure that you follow Coach Ashley Blanchard. Follow her link tree, and I'm sure you can get all the links to her social media, to the books, to everything that she has mentioned, her music, all of that good stuff, and support this queen. So we will take a short break and be back with our next author. right. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. We are down into day 3 of our Black History book tour. And so, of course, I cannot allow the time to go by and not introduce my books. And so, for that, I'm going to put my website up and I'm going to introduce a few of my books, starting with the baby of the bunch, I like to call it, because it is what built this brand, the What's Your Superpower brand. And it also began my journey as a visionary author. And so, What's Your Superpower anthology, which is also this book right here, is my first publication back in it's my first visionary publication. Let me retract that. But this is my first project as a visionary. And there was myself and 10 other women. And we contribute our compelling stories of strength and resilience while overcoming life's obstacles. And so this is a collection of stories from powerful women projecting strength and resilience while overcoming life's hurdles. So pretty much what this book is about is us utilizing our God-given superpower to overcome our obstacles. And a lot of people, as we go through life and we go through the things that either we created a path for or God created a path for, there's going to be some struggles. There are going to be some obstacles. There are going to be some things that we did not expect, some things that we feel like we can't get over or we can't get through. But by the grace of God and the power that He has given us, that He put in us at birth, we are overcomers just from that. And so this book is a testament of our faith, our overcoming, utilizing our God-given superpower. Still very relevant, still, some great stories that many women can, relate to. So if you want to get a copy, NadiaFrancois.com. Along with that book, so y'all know, if you know me, I love journals. I love, just the idea of reflecting and, utilizing what we learn to grow from, right? And so after creating this book and publishing this book with the ladies, I decided that we needed a little more, to dive a little deeper into our superpower. And I created the What's Your Superpower Reflection Journal. And this journal helps you to discover your superpower and align with your purpose. So there's, activities, free writing pages, scriptures, all kind of stuff to help us to get along, and to also learn about ourselves, because as we grow and go through life and its struggles, we learn about ourselves. We, grow into who we are becoming, right? And so that is the reflection journal. And then, of course, we have Power Notes, Write the Vision and Make It Plain, which is just the free writing journal, nothing but line pages for you to reflect on, or, whatever you like to do with journals. But I definitely like to write anything. I'm a writer. I love to write. I write my list. I write my bills. I write everything. So I love a good journal or a good notebook. So as you will tell along the way, I have some more books that I will um, bring out in between our authors. But as you can tell, and you will tell from those that I love journals, and almost every book that I publish has a journal to match it. So anyway, if you would like to support the cause, make sure you go to my website, nadiafrancois.com, grab your copy. The books are also available in a bundle if you want all three. So make sure you just get in there. Hey, Miss Payne, how are you? Got Miss Payne on the line. Thank you for joining us, Queen. All right, now let's get to our next author. One of my favorite singers, another singer. One of my favorite singers and authors that I have met along this journey of being a talk show host and an author. And so I'm going to bring him up. I was trying to go and take my website off here. Hold on one second. All right. Dr. Jonathan, how are you, King?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm doing great. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yay. Awesome. So, without further ado, tell our audience about yourself.
Yes. Again, hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Jonathan Haynes. I'm an award-winning recording artist, 3-time international best-selling author, motivational speaker, podcast host. I have a clothing apparel line, motivational speaker, lifestyle coach, and the list goes on. But I'm a child of God doing what He has called me to do.
I love it. So, Mr. Doctor,
Oh,
Dr. Jonathan, which book are we talking about today?
yes, I have it in front of me. Yes, You, Yes Now, Women Winning in Business. I am so happy about this because I was a Ford author, and so I'm so proud of this one.
All right, come on, tell us about it.
Yes, Yes You, Yes Now is by Dr. Karen Hills Pruden, and I'm so grateful that she allowed me to be one of the co-author as a man. It was me and Dr. Jonas, and it's a privilege and an honor to be a Ford author because that's just something that I don't take for granted. And it's simply just women winning in business, love, and life, sharing their stories of how they became successful in business. They share love stories and just share life and how they overcame obstacles to be who they are in God and who they are in business right now. And so it's a great book. It became a bestseller. So you can go get this on Amazon or on my website. But it's just a book for everyone just to uplift your wife or your friend, your sister. And we have some things in here for men as well. But it's a great book, and you should go get your copy right now. I can leave you with a quote that I wrote in here that's very powerful. Let me just go to it right quick. It just says this: stay active in supporting other business women. And it says a successful woman in business has to do it with confidence. They take pride in what they do and have confidence in their own skills, even in the face of a challenge. It's also important to stay active in supporting fellow women in business. Everyone deserves a chance at success, and if you can help your fellow businesswoman achieve that by supporting them, it is worth it. So that was a part of my chapter in the book because I'm always supporting my queens and princesses to be who God has called them to be. And so this book is for you.
Love it. Thank you, Dr. Jonathan. You are definitely what you say you are, and that is a big supporter of us queens and the princesses. But at the same time, he is also dedicated. He's not just throwing something in there just to be throwing something in there or, showing up willy-nilly. He is authentic about it. He's passionate about it, and he's real about it. And that's what I love about Dr. Jonathan. We have co-authored in another book together that was also about business. So, it's just been great. And so what I wanted to ask you, Dr. Jonathan, is how did you begin your authorship? What started you to writing?
Yes, it was during the pandemic, and everyone knows Karen Cherry, the bus in the seat queen. She put out a book called Make It Happen, Define the Odds to Make It Happen. Mm-hmm. And at the time it was a point where I was ready to share my testimony and share how people see the success, but they didn't know where I came from or the background that I came from. And I can remember she posted the information at midnight, literally at 12:01 a.m. I said, I'm a part of this book, and sent the deposit right then. And she always just say I was the first one, literally, for the book. I felt like it was something that God was telling me to do. And so I was
Yeah.
fortunate to be my very first book, and it became an international best-selling author. So I started right during the pandemic with my first book with Kern Cherry, and I haven't looked back. Now we're into the sixth book. We have two devotionals coming out, and then The Heart of a Black Man in April. So in just 2 years, God has truly blown my mind as an author.
Absolutely. Yes. And congratulations on that.
So
And
thank you.
so far anthology projects are what you've been working on, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So tell me about the experience. You know, a lot of people either they don't know, you know, they may have a certain opinion
Mhm.
about anthologies. What is yours? Like, what is your experience in anthologies, and how do you feel we benefit from them?
Right. I actually love anthologies because to me it's easier. You don't have to worry about doing so much in a book. Instead of writing 300 words, you write 1,000 words in a chapter in a book. And so for me as an anthology, if you want to start to become an author and to fulfill that dream, anthologies are the place for you because sometimes we don't have the words to say. And so just almost sometimes it's 500 words, 700 words, or 1,000. So it's something easy and I love it. I've been offered to do books myself, but at the time, anthologies are the best thing for me because it's just so easy. It's like once you get in the process, it's
Yeah,
like those words are just done immediately. And so
yeah.
I'm so excited as to be a part of anthologies. Books for me will come out soon, but anthologies, if you want to start a book and don't know how, say, I don't know how to do it, anthologies are for you.
Love it. Love it. And you said you have a couple of devotionals coming out. What are those going to be about?
Yes, we have one with Dr. Sylvia Cole. It's I Take God at His Word devotional. And so it's just a devotional that I put something that I pray about and some key steps that I go through every day in life with. And then we have another one, which is with Don Leaks and Dr. Pamela. It's called Boss Devotional. So it's a whole bunch of bosses and successful people in the industry or just entrepreneurs giving advice on how they walk in the daily life as a Christian and believer and giving them key steps that they can bring into the entrepreneurship, the market, or wherever. And so those two are coming out real soon as well. And so I'm just loving the anthology and the devotional. So this will be two devotions that's coming out. I'm used to doing books, so I'm trying to get my hand to the devotional and workbooks now.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. So you've done your books. Now I want to go back to Yes You Yes Now, right? Because I do have the privilege of knowing Dr. Karen personally, a wonderful, wonderful woman of God, and you know, just a successful executive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to know, I know you've done a couple of books that were geared towards business women in
Mm-hmm.
business period.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think we benefit from those as business owners, or you know, the business women that are or the business people, because the books aren't just for women, let me just make that clear.
They're not.
Books aren't just for women. You know, some of them are geared towards women, or maybe have more women contributors, but the books are for anyone,
Mm-hmm.
especially the business books, right?
Yeah.
And so my question is about the business books specifically. How do we benefit from them?
I think when we write in the books, it's another side of vulnerability that we share. And a lot of times you don't see a lot of men in anthologies and in books because I think sometimes we are the main ones who are scared to share. And I'm just fortunate to be, sometimes I'm the only male in the book, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to get as many men in books because I want to say, okay, we hear about our queens and princesses. Now
Yeah.
we a king's perspective on things. And so it's very important as business people as well to write down key information because in these books, you don't know who you're going to help. You don't know who you're going to bless by saying, okay, I went through the same things that you went through. Now I can tell my story. And so that's what it's always about. You don't know how your story is going to impact somebody's business, success in life, or just in general. So get out there and just start. And find somebody, just say, I just want to know about how to start it in the business genre, or send books and say, okay, I got some books here to help you, guide you to where you need to be. So it's very important that we get some more men, and just know that all these books are for men and women as well. And some people, you always think these books are for women, but no, we need some more men to be a part. And I
Yeah.
think that'd be the key. Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. I do believe that, but however, just because I read them and I'm a part of some of them as well, I know that the information that is in these books is
Yes.
helpful to any demographic, right?
And
So
yes.
with that being said, you listed off a whole bunch of businesses at the beginning. Tell us about some of your business ventures so we can support you.
Yeah, so I am a recording artist. So I travel all around the world singing and uplifting the kingdom of God. And it's truly been a blessing. Motivational speaking and lifestyle coaches come in one. I speak and spread awareness for suicide and depression, and just speaking life into people's situations, regardless of the background. And so then we have the podcast, which is coming back, my comeback podcast, which will be coming back in March. It's every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's called Everything That Haunt You or Tried to Destroy You, You Came Back on Top. And then we have my clothing apparel line, which is Songbird Apparel. They call me, they don't used to, they call me the Songbird of the South. And so how to market that into a business. So we have some Songbird Apparel merch, and then the Comeback Podcast merch, which is sweatshirts, t-shirts, bags. We still have masks, coffee cups, and the list goes on. And then you have the Songbird Productions things where you lead people to the right place to be who they are. I get so much asking me, how do you start in business? How do you record? Because people think you need a lot of money to start. So I give them key tips and advice on how to be an independent artist or direct them into the right place. And so I've just been doing what God has told me, and He literally has been blowing my mind. And then, for more information, I know we'll talk about the website here shortly, but those are my businesses, and I just love what I do.
Yes. Now, I have some more questions, but I'm trying. Look, I can't talk and type, so I want to put your website in right quick. And then I'll ask you a couple more questions before we close. What is your website, King, so I can have it strolling while we up here?
It's JonathanLHaynes.com, JonathanLHaynes.com. That's my website for all my information. With a book or just talk or try to get me for anything, it'll say Dr. Jonathan Haynes, book me for my next event right there. It has the podcast information on my website, announcements. It has a link right to get to my merchandise. Or if you just want to connect with me, it's right there. And the website will get you to everything that you need to do for me or get to me at that website.
All right. Dr. John, well, not on the website, but www.JonathanLHaynes, Jonathan L. Haynes, don't forget the L, JonathanLHaynes.com. All right, King. So I know that you have a super compelling story.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind sharing a little bit of it with us tonight?
Yes, I always do this, and I always share it, and I think it's important to share your testimony because you don't know who is going to bless. And it has truly blessed my life because this testimony has put me around you and so many people. I can't count how many things that I have accomplished by sharing my testimony. And I just want to say, before I say that, it's always important to share your testimony because you don't know who is going to bless, and you don't know how it's going to bless your life in the course of it. But I tried suicide 3 times at 14, 18, and 20. I'm 27 years old. The most impactful one was at 20 years old. And I was in a place of darkness, and I felt like all hope was lost. I thought nobody cared for me, loved for me, didn't love me. But at the time, I wasn't in a mind space of hearing that you love me. Because, everybody knows me. I know my mom is my number one supporter. And everybody knows I love my mom. She's all on my page. But when you go through those things, the enemy tells you nobody loves you and nobody will understand you. So I never told my mother these things until I started sharing my testimony about 3 or 4 years ago on social media. That was my first time anybody knew what I was going through. And so spread awareness wherever I go. And I want it to be important because I don't know who's going to bless. And I get tons of messages and phone calls about my testimony saving lives. And I never get tired of talking about it, and nobody said they're tired of it, because I think people want to understand that this is very important.
Yeah.
People see your life now, but they don't know what you went through to get there. And I always say you never speak on anybody or one of God's children,
Yeah.
because you know what they've been through. So that's a little of my testimony. And I always tell people, what if I would have gave up? I wouldn't have reached where I am today. So it's very important when you go through those tough times and you go to that sinking place, you know that God is there and He's able to flip the script and change your life forever.
Absolutely. Thank you, King, for that. Thank you so much for that. And, like you say, I know your story, I've heard it. And that's why I asked you to share, because the young people, I know I look young and stuff, but I'm actually an old lady now. Look, my mom told me the other day, you old now. So, but really and truly to bring the younger people, I know that suicide isn't anything new. I know that it hasn't just began, but it's really up. The numbers are up there, right?
Yeah.
And it's very high with our younger people. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just wanted you to share that, because you never know, like you say, you never know what someone is going through. You never know what burdens people are carrying, and then throwing in the enemy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, defeating them, or
Right.
trying to defeat them, or make them do the things that he wants them to do. And
Mm-hmm.
so your testimony of turning that around 3 times,
Mm-hmm.
right? Three
Yes.
times, y'all. So for the young person, for the parent, for the
Yes.
family member, for the support system of the young people, and not just the young people. I want the young people to hear this, but anyone, this message is for anyone that has ever gone through anything like this, has ever supported someone else that has gone through this. Y'all, don't be so judgmental
Right.
of your people.
Yes.
You never know what someone is going through.
That's right.
And you never know what that last little, you know what I'm saying? That last little small trigger that may push them over,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Because it's not anything that just pops up. This is ongoing. This is something that is eating at them, And so for this king to come here and tell us and show us, he is living proof. The
Mhm.
songbird of the South, y'all, is living proof that our God can pull us out of anything. So make sure that you share this with someone.
Thank
I
you.
don't know who it is, but share this with someone so that they can feel this, they can hear this, they can see that God is real. We all have fights that we don't speak about sometimes, but
Mhm.
we can all just as well come out on top. So,
Yeah.
King, thank you so much. I want to also ask you if you
Mhm.
have any parting words for our viewers.
Yes, I always say this and leave it with everyone. I say, do it afraid, because sometimes when we get afraid, some of the greater outcome and the greater blessings come by just doing it afraid and just taking over those challenges. And always know that you don't have to be alone, because as someone who went through suicide and tried to commit suicide, you feel like you're alone, but we should automatically know that God is with us and nothing can stop Him from saving your life or changing your life for the greater good. So again, just be blessed, stay encouraged, and I love everyone. No one tells you that they love you. Know that I love you, and God loves you first.
Amen. Thank you, King.
Thank you.
Yeah. Reach out, connect with this king, get some of these books that he has available. Look,
Yeah.
follow his social media so that you can be involved in
Yeah.
whatever he has coming up as far as his singing, motivational speaking, all of that great stuff, because he is doing great things all over the South and probably everywhere. I'm saying the South because I see you, you in Mississippi over here with me, and I
Yeah.
see you in New Orleans,
Mhm.
so I'm like, okay, but I'm sure he's going global really soon. So make sure that you all are following him, supporting him through this, praying for him, And like I said, just make sure that when you deal with people, that you make sure that you are dealing with them with the love of God. Thank you,
Yes.
King. And
Thank you.
thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
All right. JonathanLHaynes.com, y'all. Get your books, uh get connected, get into and I wanted to say it before he got out, but this fella can sing, y'all. He could sing. So make sure that you connect with Dr. Jonathan, a wonderful, wonderful man of God. All right. So I'm going to put my website back up here because as we wait on the next interview, I'm going to tell you about my next set of books. All right. So I told you about What's Your Superpower in anthology bundle. So now I have the Powerful Affirmations bundle. So in 2021, it may have been late 2020, I'm not sure, but the first book was published in July of 2021. And so God gave me, because I had gone through the anthology process and, published the first anthology, I wanted to do another one, right? It's like, oh, I want to do another one, but I don't want to do another long one. I just want it to be impactful. However, straight to the point. Okay. And then by me being a veteran business owner, veteran entrepreneur for the past 20 years, I felt that I needed to do something for my business women. We go through so much just as being women, mothers, wives, daughters, sisters, all those good things. But add being an entrepreneur to that list, and things get a little complicated. All right. And so you need those moments of pick me up. You need those moments, where you can just pick up something and get through, right? And so this book, Powerful Affirmations for Fempreneurs, which is female entrepreneurs, um, is a success tool for kingdom business women, right? And so, what I mean by kingdom business women is Christian business women that know how to operate kingdomly. So, there's a difference in just a Christian businesswoman and a kingdom businesswoman, okay? Because, some things we just have to know as kingdom believers, that God has our back no matter what we're going through, no matter what is going on at the house, no matter what is going on behind closed doors. When we set ourselves up to take on the task that God puts before us, He's already made the provision for us. Sometimes it's just hard for us to see it because all we see is what's in front of us, right? And so these books are God's promises to us, along with some amazing affirmations by this book had 21 business owners, female business owners, contributed to this book. All right. And they contributed affirmations, prayers, and their favorite scripture. And so this was my second anthology project. And I gotta say, this book is probably about my favorite book that I've visionary. And it's because of just the man. Like I said, it was to be something very short and to the point, right? However impactful. And being able to actually accomplish that is I think what is most fulfilling for me. And so this book, full of affirmations, prayers, and scriptures. All right. That's volume 1. And so I love this so much, I had to do it again. So we have Powerful Affirmations, volume 2. All right. And so this one is pretty much the same as far as what's included in the book. We had some amazing women. We didn't have 20. I think we had about 13 or 14 women in this book. That back cover off the chain, I love it. So, but anyway, another book full of prayers, affirmations, and then in both of these books, guys, our authors are a part of the the businesswoman directory. So if they have anything that you can use within their business, any services or anything that you can use, you can find out in these books. So they have their contact information, what they offer, all that good stuff, along with all of the good motivation. Oh, and I forgot that in volume 2, we decided to include letters of encouragement. All right. And so each businesswoman contributed a letter of encouragement to a fellow businesswoman, telling them how to get over certain things, and, just super encouraging, super motivational. So if you're a businesswoman, if you know a businesswoman, if you're married to a businesswoman, get her this book bundle, right? And guess what we have? The Fempreneur notes, so that she can make sure that she is keeping up with all of her business information or notes or whatever. So we have the Fempreneur bundle, right? So I was trying to see if I may read something from one of these. Yeah, I won't read anything, but y'all, NadiaFrancois.com, and you can grab all 3 or pick which one you would like, as far as the Powerful Affirmations for Fempreneurs bundle. Now, I want to also show you. So, in my publishing and writing, and I don't have my first workbook, but when I began in the author world, I began writing books, writing tools for business owners, right? And so my first book was the Entrepreneur Activity Workbook, which is also available on my website. But I forgot to pull a copy of it to bring up here. But it is available on my website, digital and print. And the Entrepreneur Activity Workbook is one that helps the entrepreneur put together their business plan. All right. So it has all the steps you go through, like brainstorming and creating your SWOT analysis and getting your break even analysis, and everything that is a question on a business plan is included. Executive summary, all of the different departments and who you will reach out to, growth planning, good stuff like that. Okay. And so as time went on, I always felt like I wanted to add to that workbook. And of course, I had that one published through a traditional publisher. So all the time, though, just, adding to it or editing it isn't possible. You have to recreate. And so I said, well, I'm not going to recreate something that I already made. I'm just going to do something different. And so I don't know if you were watching when I first came on, but I I'm a hairstylist. I've been a hairstylist for a long time, over 15 years. And I had a lot of struggles. I had a lot of struggles on my way up. And a lot of it was just not knowing, right? Just not knowing, being ignorant. And, as I've matured and grown in my business, I found that there are so many other women that don't know and just may need the answer to one question to help them go to that next level, or just may need guidance in one area to help them get to that next level. And so I began last year in 20, well, in I think 2021, I may have started business coaching. I began business coaching. I had already been consulting for a while, helping other people with their businesses and things like that. But, just on and off. But when the pandemic hit, I couldn't do hair. I couldn't do, and that's my bread and butter. So that was like, I can't do anything. And so I began, you know, diving into the things that I could do while I was home, right? And so that meant completing projects that I had on the roster, finishing up these books, just establishing myself in my different industries, right? And so with that being said, I started working on the Boss Up Your Business CEO Planner, right? And so the name of my coaching program is Boss Up Your Business Coaching. And so I created this planner to help the CEO boss up their business, okay? And so I'm going to just show a couple of the pages that are included here. So, of course, we have the startup checklist. If you are starting your business, or if you have already started your business. What I've learned over the years, a lot of people have started a business, is up and running, but they're missing some stuff, right? There's some steps they skipped. And so one thing that you want to do when you are starting a business or running a business is start with the proper foundation, right? Because everything has to be built on a solid foundation so that it doesn't crumble. Okay. And so it has the startup checklist. We also have worksheets, which help define your mission, define your vision, help you with your core values, help you define your customers and your competitors, help you to define your business goals. We also have a goal planning worksheet. We have a SMART chart, which helps you to make SMART goals, help you to set your SMART goals. We have the daily planning worksheet to help you plan out your day to make sure that you're maximizing your time, not procrastinating, not spending your time on things that are not producing income. And then we have the weekly review, which helps you to pull together your week to see what you've accomplished, what you need to work on, what you need to prioritize on the next week. And then also some budgeting information, budgeting worksheets for your business and personal and your expenses. We also have your marketing plan worksheet and product development worksheet and your launch checklist. So once you get through the book of writing everything out and planning your business out, there's a launch checklist for you to go through to see if you're ready to launch your business, see if you have everything that you need, you know, to get the launch off. So Boss Up Your Business CEO Planner. All right. So that's another book that's available. And I also want to say all of my books are also available on Amazon. I do prefer you to purchase your books from me so that I can personally ship them out and sign them for you. However, if Amazon is your jam, baby, we are there too. All right. So, that being said, I'm going to stop right there because my next interviewee is in the room. Hey, Queen.
Hey,
How are you? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Hear you well. Thank you, y'all. We have Queen Angela here as our next author for the Black History Month book tour. Hi, Queen. Introduce yourself to our audience.
So I am Angela Thomas Smith. I am originally from Anderson, South Carolina. I currently reside in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, by way of Atlanta, Georgia. I am a author of, I think I'm on my 57th book. I've
Wow.
co-authored, done anthologies, planners, you name it. I have done it since 2016. And I'm just grateful because on this journey of being able to find Angela, I've experienced some things. I've been through some test trials and tribulations, and God saw fit to allow me to become an author to be able to share this with other people so that they wouldn't have to go through the same journeys that I went through, or to help them through what they may be going through. So I'm grateful to be able to be here to share. Because I never saw this. Growing up in a little small country town, I grew up on the street, one way in and one way out, and everybody on my street was either my first cousin or my second cousin, and I just never saw this. I'm a host of 2 podcasts. I just launched a podcast network with 2 individuals. I have 2 partners, so I am 1/3 of HTA Enterprise, where we help individuals that want to create a podcast, create their own podcast platform, because I truly believe in collaborating. That's my thing. I believe that everyone has a purpose here on this earth, and I just like bringing people together to help them reach their potential and to find their purpose if they don't know their purpose. So that's just a little bit about me. I just want people to know they got purpose.
Yes, absolutely, Queen. Thank you for that. So, what book are we talking about today?
So this is my baby. Like, this is the we're currently in 121 days of prayer. This was the last year's book. After 121 days of prayer, we released a book. This one is near and dear to my heart because there was 21 individuals that joined me in prayer for 121 days. We stood on the wall, we interceded, and after that journey, whether they prayed with me one day or they prayed the whole 121 days, we shared what that journey was like. And individuals that were sick, they got their healing, and people just shared their testimonies. We had individuals that were diagnosed with different types of illnesses. They was able to share how God delivered them and set them free. We had individuals that was just struggling to pray. You know, I had a testimony today where someone joined us last year, and she said she never prayed out loud before, but being able to come on that prayer line and being able to be amongst other believers, she's now able to pray out loud. So we just shared our journey inside of this book. Had 365 affirmations from around the world. We have individuals from Africa, Germany, the UK, and the Virgin Islands that shared affirmations inside of this book. There was 61 individuals that shared affirmations. So just wanted to be able to share and allow individuals, that not just me, but people, to see what God has done for other people. Yeah. And that's one of the main reasons why I do anthologies, is because I want people to see not just what's going on in my life, but they can see others people's testimony and what he's doing for other people as well. Because my journey may not be your journey. You may get a nugget from me, and you may need a nugget from somebody else. You may get about 20 different nuggets throughout this book. And I feel like that's what we need now, because a lot of people during the pandemic, and it was happening before the pandemic, but we blame it on the pandemic where people were falling away from church. But the
Yeah.
fall away started before the pandemic, and people
Absolutely.
just discovering who they are, and just different things. But people need outlets, and I truly believe, I believe the word, and he said we should do greater works. Well, of course, it's not going to be an addition to the Bible, because the Bible is complete and the Bible is the Bible. So there's not going to be anything else added to the Bible. But for people to understand the greater works and to see the greater works, this is what's going to have to happen. Your books, other people's books, everybody's going to be able to share their journeys and to be able to share their stories. So it's these books and the things that we can share our greatness and what God is doing for us, and that's letting the greater works come forth. So that's why I did this, and I'm thankful.
Awesome. I love it. And so you say you started writing in 2016. What made you decide to be an author?
It's not something I set out to do. Trust me, I didn't set out to do none of this. All of this stemmed from me starting a after school and a summer program. And I shared a picture today because it popped up. But I shared a picture of some of the kids that I was working with. And it was those babies. It was those babies telling me that they could not relate to those books, because we had a mixed population. But a lot of the books that were over there, and I would watch my brown kids pick these books up. They would flip through them and they would put them down. They wouldn't even read them. I would ask them what was on the front cover. They couldn't even tell me what's on the front cover. And that was a problem with me.
Yeah.
Because South Carolina ranked number one. Well, we fluctuated between number 1 and number 5 in domestic violence, but we were number 50 in education. Mm-hmm. And that was a problem, because here I was, a survivor of domestic violence, working with these babies this summer.
Yeah.
And I was dealing with both of those. So I said, no, there has to be something done. So I came to Facebook. Mm-hmm. And I searched out on Facebook, and I found individuals that would come and pour into my babies. People traveled from all over North Carolina. They traveled from Mississippi, Atlanta. And I'm going to tell you about this one story. There was a lady, her name is Jasmine Womack, out of Atlanta. She drove from Atlanta to Anderson, South Carolina. She stood before my babies and did vision boards with her baby on her, swaddled across her front. She gave birth, but she came and ministered to my babies with vision boards. And that was so profound to me, because she shared with them how to create vision boards, how to create, they made little mock books, out of little construction paper and little ribbons or whatever. And that lady spoke into my life. She told me she saw me doing books. Before that summer was over, a lady out of Texas, her name is Teresa Howley. She was doing an anthology, From Fear to Freedom. And she reached out to me and asked if I would be a part of the anthology. Don't know why she reached out to me. I never wrote before, hadn't inquired about writing or anything, but she came in my inbox and she asked me if I wanted to be a part of that. I told her I wasn't a writer. She told me to just write. She said, share your journey. She said, what would you write about to help someone come out of fear to freedom? I said, I could share my journey about losing my mom 12 days after my 16th birthday, because that was something that I was fearful of. I was fearful of facing the world.
Yeah.
But I shared that journey. I wrote, I said, well, maybe she's not going to accept it, because she never responded back. So I got up enough nerves to go in her inbox and ask her, did I make the book? And she said, oh, yeah. She said, I meant to inbox you back. She said, it was amazing. She said, I sent it straight over to the editor. She said, no, I don't need. She said, it was amazing. I was like, okay. So that was my first opportunity. And I haven't looked back since. Every chance I get to share a piece of my journey, because this journey has not been easy. You're looking at May 7th would be 9-year survivor of being shot point blank range with a sawed-off shotgun. I shouldn't be here. You're looking at someone that has survived suicide attempts. I tried to take my life so many times that I lost count. I remember
Wow.
the very first time though was the day I lost my mom.
Wow.
I'll never forget that. April the 13th, 1991 was the very first time that I tried to take my life. Because I was the one that had to ride with my dad and my grandmother to tell my brother that my mom was no longer with us. I had to
Wow.
take that journey to South Carolina State. And I didn't want to take it. So when we stopped at the store, I went in there and I took a bottle of Tylenol. And I
Wow.
took the whole, it was a big old bottle too. And I took the whole bottle. But God had a plan for my life. He had a purpose for me before I was even conceived in my mother's womb because I survived that. I woke up, we were on our way back from picking my brother up. I didn't even get to tell my brother.
Wow.
I was sleeping in the car. I woke up, we was coming back from picking my brother up. My brother was in the car and I looked and I was like, I'm still here. Yeah. That's
Wow.
what my journey has been like. But being able to share this with somebody because I know that somebody out there somewhere experiencing some of these things. And I
Yes.
thank God for bringing me out of my darkness into this marvelous light and giving me the opportunity to be that light for somebody else so somebody can see him through me. And I'm grateful for being able to share in all of these books, you know. And thank
Yes.
you for the opportunity. I thank you, Queen.
Oh, you're
You're
very
definitely
welcome.
a queen for allowing us this opportunity to come on and share.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. So, more about these 57 books.
Okay. So I have a couple of them here. I have a couple of them right here beside me. So I did a birthday anthology. It's called Broken to be Mended and Molded in His Image. Um, there was 20 of us. We shared from a place where we had been broken and God healed us. It may not have been sickness. Some of us was sickness, or whatever the case may be. But He had to break us
Yeah.
to mold us and mend us into who He wanted us to be. So I shared that there was a young lady, and I keep calling her young lady, but she's older than me. She was in the nursing home in rehab when she wrote in this. Matter of fact, she just came home from rehab um, on Tuesday of last week. And this book was released, and she had been in the nursing home already for, I want to say, a year. And I
Wow.
didn't even know she was in the nursing home. Didn't find out she was in the nursing home until she wrote inside of this book.
Wow.
Didn't even realize she had a stroke until she turned her entry in. And I asked her, I said, well, where you been? And that's when she told me that she was in the rehab and she was still writing from her bed.
Wow.
And we have I'm Owning My Truth. It's an anthology where we share about truth. God used he dropped words in my spirit and he break these words down like with truth. He broke that word down to me. The T. The first T stand for test, trials, and tribulation. The R stand for resilience. The U stand for uniqueness. The second T stands for transparency, and then the H stands for helping others heal through sharing of your story. And the S on truth stands for servant, and how we're supposed to be servant for the building of the kingdom. And it's like everything that I do always ties back to collaborating and pushing people to their purpose.
Yeah. I see. I hear. And I love it. I love it. I love the fact that you just keep going. I really do. Because a lot of times we miss that part. We miss that part.
But do
That
you know why we miss that part? Because
what
sometimes we can be well on our way and we look at what the next person is doing instead of staying focused on what God has called you to.
yes.
I've come to realize that, what you're doing, what we're doing, we're not the only one because we're not the only person in this world.
Right.
And we have to understand that, and what God gives each and every one of us, it may be similar in some ways,
Mhm.
but it's never the same because we're
Absolutely.
all unique in our own way. So there's going to be some uniqueness about everything that we do.
Yeah.
Like we do some of the exact same things,
Right.
but you do yours totally different.
Mhm.
And if we would get out of that's my competition, that's my enemy, I can't support because she doing what I'm doing.
Right.
Look, if it's for you, it's for you.
That's it.
We got to understand this. Jeremiah 29:11, he said he declared that he had a plan for you. So think about this. If he had a plan for you, the plan was already created when he created everything and when he said it was done.
Yeah.
So when he said it was done, that plan for your life, even though you were not conceived, that plan was already mapped out. So it's all about us catching up to our destiny and catching up with what he already had planned for us.
Yeah. I like
We
that.
make it hard when it's
We do.
supposed to be so simple.
That's it. That's it. You're right about that. You are so right about that. We make it hard. We make it
And it's
hard
supposed to be so
because
simple.
we looking at other people in their promise.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Queen, you didn't gave me a heart full. You done gave me a heart full. You truly have. And so right now I want to ask you, how do we connect with you? What do you have a website first off?
So do I have a website? I think my website is currently down.
Okay.
I think 72 hours they say.
Okay.
But my website is currently down. But I always tell people, if you want to find out all the things that I'm doing, go to Linktree, Queen of Collaborations. It has everything. Books, everything that you could want to know about me. Every link, everything that I'm connected to, it's over there. And that is Linktree, Queen of Collaborations.
All right. And then I know you have some other businesses outside of your authorship in your podcast. You want to tell us about them?
So I'm also a certified life coach. I also help coach those that want to self-publish. And again, you can find me on Linktree, Queen of Collaborations. Put an S on there.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I encourage individuals that want to, and me and my partners, HTA Enterprise, we help individuals that want to create their own podcast platform. So we provide that platform. We currently have 5 podcasters up. They are called The Crew Podcast. They are our finding crew. They are into their second round of shows. We are on to show 11. Tomorrow we will air show number 11. Lisa Hopkins, Triggered Reactions Conquered is the name of her show. She is out of Victorville, California. She will be live on tomorrow. We have, like I said, we have 5 amazing podcast hosts over on the network, and we are looking for more. We're starting a new training class on March the 1st. And we're going to start with our next round. I'm excited because it gives me an opportunity to work one-on-one with individuals that is serious about sharing their voice and getting their voice out there and building a platform. Because oftentimes we say we want to, and we never do because we sometimes don't have people that are willing to pour into us. So that's what I decided that, I didn't have people pouring into me. I didn't have people doing this when I wanted to do things. People would tell me they was going to help me. And then later on down the line, there was no one. So I wanted to be a help. So we're over there podcasting. You want to find out about that? You can also follow me on Linktree, Queen of Collaborations. I'm just out here just trying to be the change that I desire to see in this world. We oftentimes talk about it, and I'm tired of talking about it. It's time to be about it. So I'm trying to lead by example. Creating and leaving a legacy is what I call it.
I love it. I love it. And do you have any final thoughts for our audience?
Yes, I just want you to know that you can be the best version of yourself. You don't have to put on a show. You don't have to put on a mask. You don't have to do. We don't. We only want to see you. We only want to hear your truth. We only want to. We only know if you tell us. Like we will only know if you share it with us. So take the opportunities that are presented before you. God has given us all gifts and talents. Don't sit down on your gifts and talents, because guess what? You're not sitting down on me and Nadia. You're sitting down on God, because He gave you those gifts and talents. We're only here to help you stir up those gifts and those talents and share them out with the world. So
Yes.
I encourage you, get connected. Get connected. There's some amazing, this lady over here doing some amazing stuff. So I want to encourage you guys to get connected.
Love it. Thank you, Queen, so much for joining us. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you reach out and connect with this queen of collaborations, y'all. She has blessed us tonight with her words of encouragement, with her books. Y'all, 57 books. Go buy a few. Go buy a few. She has put the work in. She has collaborated with several people within her books, and has impacted several lives in a positive manner. So we want to continue to support her, salute her in all of her efforts. If you're looking to start your own podcast, reach out to her. She has what you need. www.linktree.com/queen of collaborations, y'all. Miss Angela Thomas Smith. Thank you, Queen, for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that was so good. Like, I'm almost want to cry. I do, because it takes a very special person to be able to go through what this woman has went through and still come out and encourage the next person, encourage the next sister, encourage the next brother, encourage our children, right? So yeah, I'm a little full, but it's well, it's all good, it's all great actually. So we have one more interview for the night, but before she comes on, I want to talk about one more set of books that I published. I just wanted to make sure she wasn't waiting. So, well, I'm gonna show the hardback. So this book is called A Mother's Prayer. I'll be trying to get the angle right, y'all, because of the lighting. A Mother's Prayer, Love Letters to My Daughter. All right, and this one was published as a hardback. We had, I don't even remember. We had some women in this book, y'all. We had about, I think it was about 30 women, 30 or so women. I don't want to, I think it was about 30. That's crazy that I don't remember, because this one was published, I don't even know. This book was published in August 2022. So, A Mother's Prayer, Love Letters to My Daughter. So this book, let me tell y'all how I got to this book. And this one hits home a little bit deeper than the others, because during COVID, one of my best friends, she lost her mother due to COVID. And this was early on, like when a lot of people were passing away from it before they got the vaccine. And all that stuff. And so this was my best friend from elementary school, middle school, and high school, and we were roommates in college. So that type of friend, like family friend, right? And she lost her mom. And I took it really hard, almost like it was I lost my own mom, just to really be honest. Um so when I was going through that short time of grieving, and I say short time because I felt like I had to get out of what I was in to be a support for her, right? And her children. Because just like myself, she's an only child. And, I have a couple of friends that are only children. And the way that I feel about that is that we have to look out for each other, because none of us have siblings, right? So, like I said, I just felt like I needed to come out of what I was in order to be a support for her. But while I was going through those moments, God spoke to me and he said, "What what do you think she would have told her daughter if she would have known that she wasn't going to be here?" Right? And so I don't know. I moved on it and I was like, "You know what? We need to communicate with our people while they are here, right? We need to show that love that we have for them while they're here." And so I put out the call. I had already in the I don't want to say crazy because that's not the word. The ironic part about this book is when I came up with the cover for this book, I just love this lady, right? I love the fact that I just loved it. It just like spoke confidence, empowerment, all of the things that we need as women, right? And so that was July, that was probably like January, February of 2021 when I came out with that book cover. Well, this one came out that same month. I actually finished this one before that one. Just the cover now. Mind you, I did not know. I did not know everything to put on the book, right? The words, I'll put it like that. So I think it started out as another title. It was similar to A Mother's Prayer because I knew that I wanted to do a prayer book, but I didn't have all of the pieces yet, right? But I had the cover. I had this cover. And like I said, I know it was because I just love that lady. And I was like telling the guy that made my covers, like, I need another one. And I need this one to be on the yellow because it's going to be spring. It's like I knew, but I didn't know. All right. So fast forward, God, I'm sorry, my friend lost her mom and God spoke to me and he was like, it's time. This is it. And so, like I said, I just thought about things that, people that have lost their mom. And just that was just my perspective, right? Of things that their mother may have wanted to tell them, right? Because we don't know when we're passing. Okay. And so that was that. Came up with this book. And so then when I put the call out, y'all, so many women signed up. As you can see, all of those women wrote in this book. And this book was very, just like Powerful Affirmations, very short and to the point. 500 words, love letter to your daughter. Okay. Now, I start getting women messaging me saying, well, I lost my daughter. Can I still be in the book? I lost my mother. Can I write something to my mother? Like different stories like that. And I was like, of course. Because why? Books are forever, y'all. Books are forever. Even if this thing get wet up, tore up, and all that, I can still go somewhere to an archive and get this book. Go on Amazon and get this book, right? So this book, A Mother's Prayer, Love Letters to My Daughter, I'm going to just read the back. Visionary author Nadia Francois has compiled a dynamic collection of sincere and encouraging love letters from mothers and daughters in every capacity. The promises of God are rich for his daughters, and this book allows women of all ages to embrace the love, strength, and power of this title. A mother's love is unconditional as that of Christ, and sometimes the right time never comes to reveal the words from our hearts to our loved ones. The purpose of this book is to allow mothers to communicate their messages of love and legacy to their daughters and have in turn blessed the lives of all of God's daughters. Y'all, this book. So if you are a mother, a daughter, a sister, just a woman, period, you want to get a copy of this book. As I stated, it's available in paperback and hardback. So, and then of course, we have our Love Notes journal, prayer journal. And this journal is a free writing journal, but it has some scriptures in it as well to help encourage, right? So that is A Mother's Prayer, Love Letters to My Daughter, and Love Notes Prayer Journal. So those are also available on my website. And now we will bring in our final author of tonight. Hey, Miss Brenda.
How are you? How are you? How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you, Queen?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you. Yes,
You
I am
look
great.
beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the Black History Month book tour.
Yeah. It's my
Please go
second
ahead.
time being back. I like this.
Yes.
I like that. We were on it last year too, as well. So it was good.
Yes.
I really enjoyed
Yes.
it.
We keeping it going, Queen. We gotta
Yes.
keep our
Always.
books out there, right?
Yes. Amen.
So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience?
Well, I don't like talking about myself that much, and I'll tell you why. I don't know. But anyway, I am Brenda Sawyer, and I am the now international best-selling author since I've done a lot of anthologies I've done 2 with Nadia and a few with other people, and written my own book. And I'm a speaker and a retired educator. And what else do I do? I do a lot of things. I can't even remember how much I do. But anyway, retired educator, and I'm really loving that. I'm also the founder and CEO of Girls Walking with Integrity and Pairing for Destiny. And that is where I equip and mentor young women, women between the ages of 45 and 65, who have suffered some sort of abuse. So I mentor them and equip them with strategies to move from pain to purpose, while actually encouraging them, empowering and transforming their lives through biblical principles and teaching. So while leaving an indelible impression or posterity and confidence. Okay, so that's what I do. And it's really great because, especially when I was in, you were talking about A Mother's Prayer, and I was in that, and I thought that was really a great idea because, as you just said, some people have lost their mothers and they, didn't get a chance to say a lot of things to their mothers or their daughters or whoever. because life, tomorrow's not promised anybody. So I took, I wanted to have the opportunity to write a letter to my daughter, who's still here, of course, my only
Right.
daughter, my only child. So I wrote a letter to her. It's called Letter to Natia. So I wrote that in the book. And I also got the Love Notes book too. And that's I
Yes.
got that as well. Yes. And it's really a great book. So please go out and get that, get the book. Also, the empowering, what is it? Powerful affirmations for femmes, and that is a wonderful book too. And I wrote
Yes.
that about a friend of mine who is an entrepreneur, and I thought that was a great tribute to her. So I'm just loving the books, loving the books, and
Yes.
yeah, imparting
Good,
that
good.
knowledge and empowering other women, through the writing.
And we need that. We
Hmm.
need that.
Yeah, we do.
Sometimes, we can get this superwoman syndrome, right?
Hmm.
Where we think we
Yes.
just, I mean, sometimes we're not thinking we just doing everything. We are doing
Yeah,
everything.
we are. Well, we're
But
multitaskers. We've had to fill those
yes,
roles. I mean,
exactly.
we had to fill those roles. We
Yeah,
multitask. We just do kind of do it all.
yeah,
But we do have to have self care and make
yeah,
sure we take some time for us,
yes.
because we try to do it all, and it's impossible. You already know that.
It
But
is, and that's what I was getting at. Then here comes the burnout syndrome, right?
yeah,
And so you ain't doing nothing.
that's
So,
right.
we have to bring that. And a lot of people use the word balance. I don't care
Yeah,
to use the word balance only
mm,
because there is no balance. It's just
that's right.
aligning everything so that the flow is good and
Mhm.
the energy stays positive, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
what book are we going to talk about of yours today?
Well, we're going to talk about Encouraging Words for the Mind, Spirit, and Soul. That is a book that it's also in Spanish because, as I said, I'm a retired school teacher. So I also have the book written in Spanish. The same exact book. It is
Wow.
also in Spanish, and that's called Palabras de Aliento para la Mente, Espíritu y Alma. So that's what that's called in Spanish. But in
Wow.
English, it's Encouraging Words for the Mind, Spirit, and Soul. And it is a book of devotions, a collection of devotions taken from Girls Walking with Integrity and Empowering for Destiny, where I'm the CEO and founder. And it's a short book, short read. Someone had said in the review that they read it at the poolside, and I said, well, that was great because it's a short book, but it has so many. I feel so much information as far as empowering you with the devotions. That, for example, I mean, I could read a few,
Yeah, help
and
yourself.
can I be a little transparent too? Maybe I said this
Mhm.
before, I don't know, but I
Yeah.
I I always wanted to be a teacher. Okay, always, even at 5 years old. Now, I did not want to be an author, and you
Mm.
would never believe that. I was encouraged to be an author. I'm like, well, she says, she came up to me. She says, "Would you like to be in my book?" And that was the first book that I believe was, I guess, would have been an anthology. And I said,
Yeah.
"Well, no, I don't want to be anybody's book. No, I don't think so." And she said, "Well, just give it a try. I'll help you along." I said, "What can I write? I don't know anything. I'm not a writer. I'm a teacher. Because I did so many papers and all that stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah.
in school, marking the papers and all that. So she said, "Well, what about if I just walk you along?" I said, "Okay." So I did her book, and that was in 2014. She
Hmm.
came back in 2015. She says, "Now you've got to do your own book." I said, "Oh, no, that's never going to happen." So, no, I helped you with yours. I'm not doing any more books. That's it.
Hmm.
And lo and behold, I don't know how, I know God is a connector. He's awesome like that.
Yeah.
Um, don't even ask me because it's certainly not me. Okay. Because I'm really, which is what you get. I'm really, transparent. I did not want to be an author. But
Yeah.
had I not done this book, I never would have met you and all the other people that I collaborate with, and all the other people that I've done anthologies with, Dr. Cheryl Wood, just people in general. And
Yeah.
that's only God, because it has honestly, nothing to do with me. I just had to walk in that calling because
Yeah.
I'm like, God, really? And every time I say I'm not going to do another one, every time I say it, I'm not going to do another anthology, I wind up doing it.
There goes God making you into a lie, huh?
There he is, and he knows. I mean, he probably says, he said, I got to work with this one just a little bit more because
Right.
she's a little tough.
And look,
She's
like
tough.
they say, God has a great sense of humor, baby.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, Lord. So then, for this book, with my group, I said, well, what can I write? What can I write? And she says, well, I said, could I write about the posts that I post in my group? And she says, you can. I said, well, I wrote about the posts, some of the posts, and I elaborated on, expounded on some of the posts. And so since she encouraged me and just kept asking me to do, I came up with Holy Spirit did. I didn't come up with anything. Holy Spirit, I got to give him his props. I got to give him the glory because he came up with the title. I did not.
Okay.
Encouraging words for the mind, spirit, and soul, and that kind of like stuck.
Yeah.
Mind you, this. If you can see the cover, this cover is a free wallpaper. Who knew? This is a free wallpaper, and we did it on Kindle, and the back. Believe it or not, I don't like taking pictures. I don't know if you can see it. I don't like taking pictures, and I can tell you that in a few minutes why I don't like taking pictures a lot. But this picture in the back is a picture of me. I don't know if you can see it, but you can. It's a picture of me. I think it was back in 2000. Wow, 2010, 2009. Young lady said, "Let me take a picture. You never know when you use this." I said, okay, take it. So I took the picture. I used the picture for the back of the book. Wow. Came up. Everything is just like falling into place,
Yeah.
I didn't, because I'll tell you why I don't like to take pictures either. Because my father was a photographer, and as a little child, I just need one more picture in the hot sun. I'm taking pictures, and I'm like, Dad, I want to go. No, just one more. Smile. Put your hand on your hip. No. I was like, you know what? No. So I don't take as many pictures as I possibly could. But here I am with the book, Encouraging Words from the Mind, Spirit, and Soul. And as I said, it is a book of devotions taken from Girls Walking with Integrity, Empowering for Destiny. And those are from the posts that I wrote and expounded on them. And it's going to give you some encouragement for every day that you to walk with Christ. It's going to kind of empower you to walk with Christ through these short devotions. And the person who helped me with it was a photographer herself. So I said, she said, well, you want pictures with the book? I said, I could take pictures. I don't know. Yeah. So she said, well, look, let me do this. She says, I'm going to give you the pictures. I'm going to give you the pictures, and I'm going to take pictures for everything that you wrote. Because I love taking pictures. I said, fine. So she took all the pictures, in the book.
Wow.
All the pictures. Now, of course, it is a Kindle, audio, and paperback. And I can't say I can't believe how God did it, because he just does. I mean, here I am with this book, and these are my words. And then guess what? When I read this, and when I even listen to I do have a CD of the book too. So when I listen to it, I'm like, wow, that's so empowering. I'm listening to me. And it's empowering me. Like how David had to encourage himself? That's how. And then I felt like I said, I didn't want to write anymore. I was like, oh, what am I supposed to write? And I had to write this book with kind of like being reluctant, a little painful. I'm like, I don't feel like, don't feel like doing it. But got the book done. And it encouraged me as I was doing it so that I could encourage someone else.
Yeah.
So it's the book. I can read you a little something out of it. This is very short, and you have it in audio. One of the page on page 43 is the joy of the Lord is your strength, and that that's coming from the scripture. So it says, "Thank you, Lord, for all that for all that we have, and for allowing us to remain joyful in you. You are our good shepherd and our Jehovah Jireh, who provides us with everything we need forever. You will be the joy and the strength of our lives." Then he said, this is the scripture now. Then he said unto them, "Go your way, eat the fat and drink the sweet, and send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy unto the Lord. neither be ye sorry, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. And that's coming from Nehemiah 8:10. And a little picture there that she took. I can't see it that well, but
Yeah.
and you can see it better when you in color, because this of course is black and white.
Right.
But color when you go to the ebook. So
Ebook,
the
yeah.
ebook. Another story about this book. So many people, and the thing that I love about this is I've never met you. I've never met anybody on social media that I've been in anthologies with, and
Wow.
it's like I know them. I don't know any of them, and I'm like, God, this is really, I can't fathom it. And we are very close. We also have a group that who we have a program every Thursday, a broadcast with Women, and we're a group of women who got together and wrote a book about 5 years ago, and we're doing that, and we've never met each other, and everybody's like, you've never met each other in person? No, never. And we have our little board meetings on Tuesdays. Who knew this was going to happen? I sure didn't know.
Right.
I never pondered to say, well, when I retire, I don't know what I'm going to do. I never said that because
Yeah.
I knew I was going to do something, because I'm active in my church as well. I sing in my choir. We're a recording choir as well. But I just didn't know how he was going to connect all of this, And then, so 2014 helped her with her book. Then she says, well, write your own. That was 2015. This book was birthed. Then I said, well, I taught Spanish for 13 years after school. So I know Spanish, yes, but I didn't really want to sit down and write a book in Spanish because I didn't, like all the idioms, things like that. So
Right.
I outsourced someone to help me write it in Spanish. And I call it my bonus book because the bonus book has the prayer of salvation in the back. In the back of the book, there's a prayer of salvation. And that's what that is. But it's the same exact book as Encouraging Words for Mind, Spirit, and Soul. Okay, wrote that, had it, published and everything. And the next year, I think it was 2016 or 17, the same person who helped me with the book in Spanish came back and says, Miss Sawyer, and don't know him either, never met him, don't know who he's over in Philippines. I don't know who he is. I don't know. And he said, Miss Sawyer, the Holy Spirit told me to give you a book trail. And I'm like, what? I mean, he says, no, the Holy Spirit. I said, well, let me pay you something. He says, no, this is my gift to you. The Holy Spirit told me, he says, I learned so much, because back and forth we were doing emails. He was asking me about the Holy Spirit, how, just different things. And we were like doing like a little Bible study, his wife as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, don't know.
It's amazing.
And
right?
it's been like writing ever since now. Don't
That's
ask.
good. What a great testimony, though, because I mean, it just speaks to what we have going on right now, right? So much of the technology and online communication and all that good stuff. So yeah, he just led you right on in.
He sure did. Even though you go around kicking and screaming, he's like, yeah, he got this big rod just reeling me and going, y'all. That's what you
want in.
Yes. So I believe
Linda,
that.
what is your website?
What's that?
What is your website?
My website is brendasawyer.com, and they can also find me on Linktree/Brenda's Encouraging Words, or Brenda's Sawyer. Yeah, Brenda's Encouraging Words. Yeah, because I have so many Brenda's encouraging, so I can't remember. Brenda's Encouraging Words.
I am putting your website up.
Yeah, and you can.
Sure.
And you can also.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Linktree is / Brenda's Encouraging Words. You can find a lot of things on there. Also, where else? I don't know. But yeah, you can find a lot of things on there. So
yeah, I'm sure that you have all the links on your website that they need, especially to purchase that book.
Yeah. Well, you can go and purchase this book too on brendasbook.com. brendasbook.com. So
brendasbook.com.
brendasbook.com. Yeah.
So make sure you guys connect with Miss Brenda follow her on social media. She is there.
Yeah.
And I wanted to I was about to ask you something. Oh, what else do you have? I know you said that you were doing some other things outside of the book. Let us know what you have going on.
Well, okay, well, some speaking engagements, yes, interviews. And I also do a one-on-one Zoom interview called God Wants to Get the Glory from Your Story. And that's ongoing. And where I have people come on, they have to fill out a little registration form where I have people come on if they want to. It's ongoing. So it's nothing written in stone. If they come on and they give their testimony, or they give their story about how God wants to get that glory from their story. And they can stay on. They get, they air whatever they want to. They can invite people. They don't have to. It can be a one-on-one as it is. And then they get a chance to come back as many times as they want to do updates. Okay. So there's no investment for that, but there is, an investment for the initial one. So
Okay.
yeah. And of course I'm on Clubhouse with Testimony Tuesday. That's every Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah.
Well, it seems like you are keeping very busy in your retired days.
Yes, man. Well, I'm also involved in my church as we sing, we're a recording choir. So things are just, it's all the things that happened, close to 3 years ago. I mean, it has changed so much, but it made it also better, because you got a chance to meet more people. Here I'm sitting on a Zoom. God knows he knows that we can't be everywhere, but we can be everywhere on platforms.
Yeah.
He's only omnipresent. We're not, but he can make that happen through these platforms like this,
Yes.
StreamYard and such.
Yes.
And I just love you. Your spirit is just, you just, how can I say? I don't know what I can say about you, but you're just for real. You're a person. You're a lovable person. And I don't know you. I can feel your spirit. And I'm sure you've been told this before. I can just feel your spirit. You're so genuine. And I just, I love working with you.
Thank you, Queen. I appreciate you. So tell our audience your final words.
My final words are don't underestimate what God can do. Okay. I don't underestimate it, but don't ever, and just don't say never. Because you're going to be able to do some things. God's going to put you in these different places and on platforms and in these different rooms. He's going to open different doors for you, which you don't expect. But, you say pray and with expectation. So pray and ask God to guide you and to lead you as to what he wants you to do, because he wants us to do so much in this time. Yeah. And I just say, just do it. If he's leading you, the Holy Spirit's not going to lead you wrong. So if he's leading you to do something, if you have a passion for something, I have a passion for people, for giving. So if you have a passion that's just like burning inside you, that's what you do. You don't try to do something that is not something that you want, you don't like to do, but it's something that you, that like burning inside, that your passion. What are you passionate about? Follow your passion and follow that intentionally and on purpose, unapologetically. You don't have to apologize for anything you do. Not
That's
really.
it.
Yeah, especially when you talk about the Lord, you don't have to. I say things boldly and unapologetically. That's what I've been learning to do now. I say things boldly and unapologetically because I know He's got me covered.
That's it.
So,
That's it. And that's a thing that I've started in talking about us contributing to these different books and stuff. And so I contributed to a book at the end of last year, and that was what my chapter was about. Being bold about what we are here for, right? Because
that's right.
God put us in these positions. He gives us these ideas. He, just brings us to these points. And just like Miss Brenda stated, you just fall in there. Sometimes you don't even know what's going on. You don't know B from A, but you're there, right?
Yep.
And then he just maneuvers you through, and it's like your feet never touch the ground, right?
You
And
never
so
touch the
that's
ground.
when you know that that was God guiding you, leading
Gotta
you,
be. Gotta
bringing
be.
you through. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, thank you
Yes,
so much,
he's
Miss
awesome.
Brenda, for being
Thank you.
here tonight,
I,
for
I
just
love
your
it.
support over the last few years. I really appreciate you. Y'all get this book, Encouraging Words for the Mind, Body, and Spirit.
Mind, body, and soul.
Mind,
Encouraging
body, and
words for
soul.
mind,
Sorry.
body, and soul. Yes. And
Get
it's
this book, brendasawyer.com or
mhm.
brendasbook.com, right?
Yes. And yes, BrennisBook.com. You know, it's on different platforms, and you can find it, you know, of course, on Amazon too. You can
Yeah.
find it wherever. But
Well, I
I'm just glad
always
now.
like to put the personal websites, and I'm gonna tell
Yes.
y'all why.
Yeah. No,
We
yeah.
make more money
I
when
know.
y'all buy the book from us. Okay.
Yes. Yes. This is very true. No, it's very true.
We
Yeah,
we
because
may have
Amazon,
to
I
do
think.
a little more leg work as far as getting it shipped out and signing it, but
Mhm.
of course that is our pleasure.
Yeah.
Buy the book straight from us, we get more profit. We love Amazon, we appreciate their
Oh yeah.
services,
Oh yeah.
but we
Mhm.
definitely would love to get the most of our profit, right?
Yes.
So
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, it's a pleasure. I mean, I don't know. It's a lot. I guess you know, it's so much that's in all of us that God wants to bring out,
yeah,
and He just uses us.
yeah,
Uses us the way I said. Just use me for Your glory, because
that's
I
it.
don't, you know, I don't have
Yes.
anything. What can I say now? You know, you can say no, but hey,
He's still
you
gonna
never
make
say
you do
no.
it.
Yeah, he's gonna make because he's our good father. He knows what we
That's
need.
it.
He knows what we need before we even think about it. So he knew all of this. I mean, I'm not even from Philadelphia. I'm from New York. I was born and raised in New York. Never thought I would leave, and then you know here I am, and I feel that this is so much home now.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd be here either. So,
Wow.
I don't
God is so
just go with the
amazing.
flow. He is so amazing. He's so awesome, and thank you for keeping up all of the things that you do. I mean, you are just doing. You're amazingly good. You have done so much and are still doing, and I really appreciate you for giving us the opportunity to come on and be a part of your anthologies as well. Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
do.
Queen. Thank you. And we're gonna keep it going as long as God keep pushing me. I'm gonna keep going too.
Oh yes, we're going to have to, you know, until the day is done. You
Yeah,
know, hey, we
pretty
still
much.
have breath, so we still keep on going. You know.
He ain't gonna let me stop.
No. Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Never gonna leave us to
Yes,
forsake us either. So,
yes.
hey, and as people say, do it afraid. If you're afraid, let's keep on doing it.
Keep on going. Keep on
Keep
going,
on
y'all.
going.
Well, I
I
want to
just
thank
thank
you,
God.
Queen,
Thank
so
you.
much for being here
Thank you.
tonight. We're gonna go ahead and close out. You are our final interview for tonight. And this has been a wonderful, wonderful, amazing book tour for the last few days. I want to thank everyone that has joined us. I want to thank all of the authors that came on to tell about their books. I also gave out some Black history facts for the in between, and I also introduced some of my books. So just take it all in, y'all. Take it all in. Take the encouragement. We've had women, and Dr. Jonathan came on and gave his testimony about overcoming suicide. Dr. Ant, well, she's not a doctor, but I must be speaking this into
Yeah,
her because
yeah.
I keep
Speaking
calling
into
her
this,
doctor.
yeah,
But Miss Angela, the queen of collaboration, listen,
yes,
she gave her testimony. So this today, whew, I have been full. I'm not gonna lie, but I know that everything that was said here today was supposed to be stated because
yes,
God allowed it to happen. And
yes.
so, guys, keep yourself up, keep going, no matter what. Keep going. All right. You
Keep
have
going.
heard the reasons why. Okay.
Mhm.
So keep going. If you have a book in you, push it out. Make sure
Push
that
out.
you follow our platforms. We have more empowerment for
Yeah.
authors, coaches, and entrepreneurs, of course, and then
Yes.
ultimately our women. So connect
Yeah.
with us on all of our platforms, and we love you. Good night.
Love you. Good night. God bless everybody.
Night.
Good night.